Hello, Dr. Evangelos Milonas at Kinetic Health. We're going to go over a series of exercises for frozen shoulder, the first of which is the pendulum exercise. Now, this is a great beginner's exercise to help displace some of the fluid in the shoulder, to help the nutrients come in, just increase the range of motion. A tip when doing this exercise is you want to heat the area up before you actually start to perform the range of motion. Sometimes you can perform this in the shower if you feel comfortable doing it in the shower. Really heat the area up as much as you can handle. Other times you could use a nice warm heat, a heat pad in a towel, whatever works for you. So in order to do the exercise, you might also want to use a can. You can work your way up to a little bit of weight, which will help you move your arm through the different ranges of motion. So we've got Mickey here. So what we'll do first off is just start with no weight. So we'll have her just kind of let her arm dangle as much as possible. You want to move front and back, side to side, almost in the form of a cross. And then you also want to incorporate circles, so turning inwards and turning outwards. Now in the beginning, this can be quite painful and your range of motion might be limited, but just push it through to the point, whatever's tolerable and what you can handle. As this gets easier, and we'll demonstrate here with the can, we'll give just a can of chickpeas here to Mickey, it's a little bit of weight. You can use a chair to support yourself. Yeah. And once again, we're doing the cross motion, so front and back, side to side. Perfect, yeah. And then we'll also get the circles. And when you are doing this, you really want to let gravity just take the arm and pull it down. And try to use as much of your body to create those subtle movements rather than the arm itself. Just really try to get it to swing freely back and forth, whatever you're capable of doing. This is a great exercise. It can increase your mobility and just get the blood flowing and the nutrient exchange happening.
Hello, I'm Dr. Brian Abelson from Kinetic Health. I'm just going to go over a few PNF exercises for frozen shoulder. Now, once you get past the stage of doing the pendulum exercise and you're starting to get a little bit of mobility in there, we'll move on to another series of exercises. So, we're having Mickey here hold it with her right hand. We're just saying that her right shoulder was frozen. In other words, the capsule around there has thickened up and really reduced the amount of mobility in there. With frozen shoulder, you'd be moving around a little bit and it's just like bang, you hit a point and you just can't take it past that point. It may be farther up or you may be able to get some mobility, but at some point you're going to run into this solid wall. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to have Mickey grab the pole here and we're going to have her push down with her right hand, keeping her elbow fairly straight and trying to keep her shoulders square. So we don't want to be turning in or trying to cheat in some way. And we push down for 10 counts, and then we'd have her move her hand up just a bit. Okay, whatever she could do. And you may even want to take your other hand and try to encourage your hand up or just help it out a little bit to get to a point. You stop again there, and you push down for 10 counts. Good. And we just keep pushing down. Excellent. And again, we move up and just a little bit until we get to the point where we kind of run into that barrier and then we have to kind of hold that position. We just try to get up a little bit farther with each time and repeat this, pushing down again for 10 counts. And we do this, several times. We may do this even 3 to 5 times somewhere in that vicinity until we get a little bit more range of motion. We're not trying to increase it a huge amount, but it's going to be slow. We're going to get a slow bit of creep up into this point. And again, as with the pendulum exercise, you probably want to heat up the shoulder a little bit before you get up there. Good. That's excellent. Of course, when you start getting up a little bit farther, you may have range of motion that comes out to about here. If that's the barrier, we start from that point. In such a case, Mickey would push down for about a count of 10. And then she would slowly move her hand up, having the other hand slowly push it up just a little bit. But the key thing is here, try to keep your shoulder down when you're doing this. So we increase the range of motion slowly over a period of time. So in this next PNF exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to work on increasing the extension of the shoulder. That's your ability to bring the arm back. So for a lot of people with frozen shoulder, they'll find that they just can't bring it back. They have trouble putting on their coat or bringing their arm behind. So we're going to try and increase that extension. Again, we're going to have Mickey grab the pole here, the front. And so we're going to try and increase her ability to actually bring her arm back. So when she's here, she's actually going to push her arm forward here, okay, for about a count of 10. And when 10 seconds goes by, then she's going to release and try and bring it back as far as she can. But in this case, she's actually going to use her front hand as if you're rowing, to basically bring the shoulder back a little bit until you reach maximum range of motion. And again, you're going to bring and you're going to push forward like this. Pushing forward for a count of 10. And then after 10 seconds passes by, you're going to push back again. Good. This is actually a really good way of increasing range of motion in the shoulder. Now again, you want to make sure that you're not just kind of twerking your body, turning to the side, keeping things fairly square, and using the front arm to actually help you bring it back a bit. We will repeat this maybe 3 to 5 times, somewhere in that vicinity. But this will definitely help to increase your extension. On this next PNF exercise, we're going to try and increase internal rotation. So we're going to try and do, for a lot of people with frozen shoulder, they cannot bring their arms behind. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have you take it to whatever point you can bring it back to, and you're going to basically take it and you're going to try and pull it in the opposite direction. So you're going to try and take it out like this for about a count of 10. So pressure going the other way for about 10 counts. And then when you finish that, try and pull it across just a little bit and using your other arm to help you pull it across. And again, whatever the maximum is, we would push this direction for 10 seconds. Good. After 10 seconds passes by, try and bring it in even a little bit. You may find that you can only move a very, very small amount actually when you bring it over. But then this will increase over time until eventually you'll increase your range of motion where you can actually reach back and even touch your other shoulder. But this is going to take time. This is going to take time. On this next exercise, we're going to try and increase the motion so our arm can actually come up to the side, or what we refer to as abduction. For a lot of people, will find that they can't really bring it up very far at all with frozen shoulder, again hitting a very solid wall. In this case, we're going to have Mickey push inwards for a count of 10. So she's trying to actually move the arm in towards the middle. And once 10 seconds elapses, then I'll get her to actually bring the arm up to the side a little bit. So all you really need to do this is a broom or some other kind of pole, and this would be her maximum, let's say, that she could achieve at this point. And again, she would push down this way for a count of 10. Good. And then as 10 seconds elapses, she'd try and bring it up just a little bit farther, letting the arm that's not affected help the affected arm push it up a little bit farther. Again, when you're doing this exercise, you may find that your improvements are going to be very, very minimal. You're going to find that maybe you move from this direction to just a little bit, but don't worry about that. Even if the progress is slow, making a little bit of progress, you'll find that eventually you'll break through and you'll see quite a significant change in range of motion. Good. And again, we would actually perform this exercise maybe 3 to 5 times, somewhere in that vicinity. This next series for frozen shoulder, we're going to increase our external rotation. So for a lot of people, they have a difficult time bringing their arm to the side. If they bring their arm up and they just cannot bring it back in any way whatsoever. So again, we have a broom and we're going to take it and we're going to get Mickey here to bring her elbow fairly close to her body, and then we're going to have her push in for about a count of 10. Good. So after the 10 seconds elapses, then she'll take it out just a bit farther. Good. Using the other hand to help her here. And you may even find that you need to raise this up a little bit to get in whatever the position is. So until we reach the maximum range of motion, and then again we're going to push in for a count of 10. And once you reach 10 seconds, let it out a little bit. So what we're trying to do is trying to get this out as far as we can. Again, don't force this, don't push so hard that you're feeling acute pain, but just going to the edge of the barrier and trying to increase that range of motion a little bit farther.